we are on the Daniel Saul Show, and today is Sunday, January 15th, 2023. One day away from the big game, the best wild card game in the playoffs right now for the NFL, the Bucs and the Cowboys. There's been a lot of controversy and a lot of talk about the Bucs and the Cowboys. A lot of people saying that the Bucs are going to win. A lot of people say the Cowboys are going to win. People going back and forth. But I have statistics and I have points of my own that I believe will change this argument. And I believe that the Cowboys are going to win this game. People are saying that the Cowboys are either a Super Bowl or bust. I don't believe that. Because the Cowboys aren't as constructed as the Eagles or the 49ers. They might be equivalent to like the Vikings, something of that magnitude. They're not the Eagles or the 49ers. So, to put it this way, I see it as second round or bust for the Cowboys. Because the Cowboys can beat this Bucs team for a few reasons. We're going to go to the Bucs side. I'm going to point out a few negatives and a few positives, but I believe there are more negatives than positives for this Bucs team. The Bucs are the worst team in the playoffs, record-wise, and they're constructed. Their team isn't as full as all the other teams. They don't have a better roster. Everybody's not like they're not going and doing what they're supposed to do day in and day out, and more than these Cowboys. And I just feel like because of the worst team in the playoffs, now, even with the Seahawks out when they were in, they're still the worst team in the playoffs. They're also the worst. They are also in the worst division in football. They're the best team in that division, but they're the worst division, and they're in the worst division of football. And you can't give them a little bit of credit when they're in that situation. If they weren't in the worst division of football, they would not be in the playoffs, right? Because they're the best team in that division. Like I said, this team isn't constructed like the Cowboys. They're just not. Only thing that you can say that's on the Bucs side is that, one, Tom Brady is 7-0 versus the Cowboys. That's a big deal. That's a really big deal because everybody knows Tom Brady's the GOAT. He gets it done when it matters. But this year is different than all those other years. This is his 1 year where he has not had a winning record. That's a very big deal. And the Cowboys have been doing good for the past 2 seasons. And this year, I believe that they'll correct those mistakes that they made last year in the playoffs against the 49ers. Another advantage that the Bucs have is that they have home field advantage. That doesn't really do much, but you have your fans. You're at home playing for your fans and trying to, you're playing for yourselves, but you also want the fans to get, involved and help you out. But like I said, the only reason why is because they're a division leader. So that's why they have that home field advantage, and that's why they have a higher seed than the Cowboys. They're the 4th seed, Cowboys are the 5th seed. That's why. Here's what I think about the Cowboys. They have a better record than the Bucs. They also are in the best division in football. Because the best division in football is the Eagles, the Giants, the Cowboys, and the Commanders. That's the best division in football. And they all had winning records. And they all played a lot better than what all of us thought. That's more of a division where it's like the Saints and Bucs, Falcons, Panthers. They're all okay, but they all have, good rivalry games. This year is different. They're the best division of football, and everyone knows it. So that's a big factor when you're the second best team in your division and you have a 12-4 record. That's a really good record, and that's, for the Cowboys standard, that's really great. But you also have this. Cowboys are only playoff sellouts. That's not a good thing. Cowboys made a very big mistake last year in the playoffs versus the 49ers. They didn't play as well as they thought, or as everybody thought they would. That was a really bad, showing. They didn't play like how they should and the magnitude of, the level that they should have. It wasn't what we all expected. But this is another big thing that people are going to take out of this argument. The Cowboys have not won an away playoff game in 30 years. That is a big deal. So if they win this game, then they break that drought. It stops. So they break that record, and they will finally be out of it. So then the drought will be over, and they will now have a winning record for a playoff. So now they'll be like, okay, now we're starting off 1-0. Now we got to just continue it. But is that really going to happen? I believe so. I believe the Buccaneers aren't a good enough team to be able to stop the Cowboys. I believe the Cowboys are just a better overall team. Now with the addition of T.Y. Hilton, having CeeDee Lamb, those two are your main targets. Also having Amari Cooper's out. He got traded and all that. But, you still have Michael Gallup. And you have Ezekiel Elliott, Pollard. And you have players like Micah Parsons on the defensive side that can help you. Trayvon Diggs. You have a really good coach. A coach that's been in there for that's been there for a pretty long time. He has experience, especially in playoffs. He was the coach for the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers, so he knows what it's like to play with a high quality or a high level quarterback and a really good constructed team. He knows what that's like. So everyone's bashing Mike McCarthy. You can't really do that because Mike McCarthy is going into a system and a team that wasn't really great before. And then now, last season, they were good, but then they lost their quarterback the entire year almost. So you can't really, say that. So it's like, you got to give the man credit where it's due. And I believe that the Cowboys are going to come up with the win.